Louis Sullivan's expression "form follows function" is the cornerstone of functionalism in architecture. With this expression, Sullivan argues that the external appearance of a building should be designed in accordance with the purpose of that building. In the case of the tall office building, this means that elements such as the height of the building, the interior layout, and the placement of windows should be designed to meet the needs of the offices. Sullivan emphasizes that pure functionality is not enough and that the building should also have an artistic value. According to him, the architect should not only solve engineering problems but also create an aesthetic expression. This can be achieved by designing elements such as the proportions, materials, and details of the building to be both functional and beautiful. Sullivan drawing inspiration from nature aims for the building to have an organic integrity, meaning that each part is harmoniously and meaningfully combined with each other. Sullivan's approach aimed to strike a balance between functionality and aesthetics. According to him, a building can and should be both functional and beautiful. This balance requires the architect to have both engineering knowledge and artistic sensitivity. Sullivan believes that the tall office building can become a new architectural expression of the modern age by achieving this balance.
Hello, I am Usame. Today I am going to talk about the second question. How does Lewis extend civilians' functionalist ideas in his critique of ornamentation, and what cultural or moral arguments does Lewis add to discussion that civilians omits? Let's begin. In his work Ornament and Crime, Adolf Loos takes civilians' concept of functionalism further, arguing that ornamentation is a crime against modern society. According to Loos, ornamentation is a waste of both time and resources, and is incompatible with the rational and functional lifestyle of modern humans. While civilians prioritize functionally but does not discard aesthetic concerns, Loos argues that ornamentation is a completely unnecessary and morally problematic. Loos also incorporates cultural and moral arguments that civilians omitted into the discussion. According to him, ornamentation is an imitation of the past and the obstacle of the creativity of modern humans. Ornamentation also humanized society by suppressing individuality and originality. Lewis argues that ornamentation is a habit peculiar to primitive societies and the modern humans should be free from such primitive impulse. Therefore, Lewis emphasized that ornamentation is not just an aesthetic problem but also a cultural and moral one. In summary, Lewis radicalized civilians' understanding of functionalism, seeing ornamentation as an obstacle to development of modern society, and therefore completely rejecting it. That was all for the second question. Thank you for listening me.
While Sullivan's view of the skyscraper as a new architectural form dictated by function and the loose rejection of decoration seem to reflect a similar functionalist approach at first glance, they actually diverge at different points. With his principle form follows function, Sullivan advocates for the emergence of a form that suits the functional needs of the skyscraper. However, Sullivan also values the aesthetic value of the building and seeks an organic integrity inspired by natural forms. In other words, for Sullivan, beauty and utility can coexist. Lewis, on the other hand, takes functionality to the extreme by completely rejecting ornamentation. According to him, ornamentation is unnecessary and morally problematic. Lewis argues that only the functional is beautiful, in line with the rational lifestyle of modern humans. This approach creates a separation between beauty and utility by excluding Sullivan's aesthetic concerns. Therefore, while Lewis' rejection of decoration is partly compatible with Sullivan's skyscraper vision, it challenges it due to the difference in their aesthetic understandings. While Sullivan values aesthetic as well as functionality, Lewis advocates for pure functionality by completely rejecting ornamentation.
Although both Sullivan and Lewis advocate for purpose-driven design, their methods of achieving this purpose and their views on the role of the architect in society are shaped by their different personalities and the influence of their times. With his principle form follows function, Sullivan emphasizes that the architect must first and foremost meet the functional needs of the building. However, with an optimistic approach, Sullivan believes that this functionality can also create an aesthetically expression. According to him, the architect can inspire and advance society by designing original and artistic structures that meet the needs of modern society. Sullivan believes that the architect, as an artist engineering, can create structures that are both functionally and aesthetically satisfying. Lewis, on the other hand, with a polemical style, argues that ornamentation is unnecessary and morally problematic. According to him, the architect should focus on the rational and functional needs of modern society and avoid unnecessary elements such as ornamentation. Lewis believes that the architect, as a cultural critic, should cleanse society from the harms of ornamentation and design simple and functional structures suitable for the modern lifestyle. Lewis argues that the architect should liberate society from the imitations of the past, thereby encouraging the creativity and originality of modern humans. Therefore, Sullivan's optimism leads him to adopt the role of an artist-engineer who inspires a society, while Lewis's polemic leads him to adopt the role of a cultural critic who criticizes and transforms society.
Hello everyone, my name is Arda Nural. Today we will discuss, can ornamentation ever coexist with functionalism, or do Sullivan and Lewis collectively suggest it's an outdated relic? Let's begin. When the works of Sullivan and Lewis are examined, it seems that they exhibit different approaches to whether ornamentation can coexist with functionality. While Sullivan adopts the principle of form follows function, he doesn't advocate for the complete exclusion of ornamentation. According to him, ornamentation can be elements that emphasize the function of the building and adds aesthetic value to it. For example, in Sullivan's skyscraper designs, it seems that he uses ornaments that emphasize the height and vertical lines of the building. Lewis, on the other hand, in his work Ornament and Crime, argues that ornamentation is completely unnecessary and even morally problematic. According to him, in line with the rational and functional needs of modern society, unnecessary elements such as ornamentation should be avoided. Lewis argues that ornamentation is an imitation of the past and an obstacle to the creativity of modern humans. According to my observation, there are situations where ornamentation can coexist with functionality. For example, ornaments used at the entrance of the building can be an element that emphasizes the function of the building and gives it identity. However, if the ornamentation goes to extremes and overshadows the function of the building, loses criticism, gain validity. Today, while the spread of minimalist design shows the influence of Lewes's views, some buildings also adopt Sullivan's approach using ornamentation as a functional element.